Hey everybody, how are you today? I'm Lynn Smith with lynnmsmith.com, and you can see my mic was on, and creator of the program The Magic of Self-Love. We lost Misty, and that's so sad. She was having problems yesterday too, and I was catching bits and pieces of it, and I was liking what I was hearing, but well, sometimes technology just doesn't behave. So everybody's coming in. I'm glad we're able to catch everybody up here. You are part here of the Perry 10K Share-a-thon, and today's topic is talking about making confident decisions. And we've had some really interesting pieces of advice along the way, and the really fun thing about Tamara is every time she applies something in our Share-a-thon, it's geared toward teens. She's got to be an amazing mother, I can tell just by listening to her. But our topic today is about making confident decisions. And there are two aspects to that I want to cover, and one of them is being confident in making that decision. And that confidence comes from that inner knowing. I firmly believe that we all have some kind of intuition. There's a piece of the divine in all of us, and that we can tune into that, and in that quietness, get information on what is the best for us. And I use intuition a lot in coaching with my clients. I help my clients to be able to tune into their intuition, because when you can tune inward and tap into the divine that is within all of us, tap into that higher knowing, you get a sense, you feel something deep inside that is just this certainty of this is the right decision. And I do that with everything. I'll sit in the quiet, I will focus inward, I do muscle testing on myself. Muscle testing is amazing. And I do that for every decision that I make, every single decision. In fact, I did that when I was thinking about joining the Perry 10K. I check in, I ask, is this something that serves me? And if I get a yes, I do it. And if I don't do it. And let me tell you, sometimes I get really disappointed, because sometimes I'll ask, is this something that serves me? And I'll get the answer no, but it was something I really wanted to do. But the point is to listen to that intuition. So when I'm told, no, don't do this, even though it was something I was looking forward to doing, I don't do it. So there's some disappointment. Man, I was told no, but I really wanted to. But it's a habit, it's a practice, and it's not always perfect to begin with. And sometimes you're going to make a decision, you're going to get that knowing and run into it, this is the answer I got, I'm going to go for it. And it may not work out that well. But it's all about building that practice. It's all about learning to trust your inner self, because your inner self has that higher knowing. And when you make a decision from that place, it does feel different. It doesn't feel like it's coming from your head. It feels like it's coming from someplace else. And like I said, I ask on everything, little things like whose news, should I sign up for this person's newsletter, up to big things, should I, invest, $10,000 in a coaching program? Every decision I make, I check in. And I didn't used to be that way. I used to just kind of, on a whim, okay, if this feels good, I'll just go do it. But what I'm noticing, though, is when I take the time to get quiet, when I take the time to turn inward, I'm actually feeling more confident about my decision. It's not a guess anymore. Because sometimes if you're weighing a decision and there are good reasons for it and good reasons to do something else, it can be hard. It's almost like you just flip a coin. And in many ways in the past, a lot of my decisions did feel that way. But they don't anymore. They don't anymore because I give myself the gift of sitting in the quiet and turning inward. And yeah, meditation helps with that, most definitely. Getting that certainty, getting that confidence from that higher power, from that divine that is a part of all of us. But now here's the thing too, though. Oh, and this really bugs me when I see this in people. You'll see some people, they'll make their decision, and maybe it's a friend of yours, and they've kind of talked about it, that you're helping them with that decision-making process, because sometimes we just need to hear ourselves talk about something. And they make that decision, and then they turn around and do the opposite. Or they go back into that limbo. See, here's the thing. When you make that connection, when you make that decision, when you've got that certainty of, okay, this is the step I'm supposed to take, just own it. For better or for worse, just own it. So many people get caught up in this limbo. They can't make the decision, or they keep second guessing themselves. Today they're doing it, tomorrow they're not. Today they're doing it, tomorrow they're not. And they waste so much time and so much energy in that indecisiveness. Just make the frickin' decision and stick with it. And we're not fortune tellers. We don't know what's coming down the road. Life is uncertain. We're all human. Things don't always work out the way we had hoped that they would. But you're making it worse when you get stuck in that limbo. A fear of commitment for some, yes. And what's really amazing to me, though, is how much of that is people not trusting their decisions. And that's just really sad. And like Tamara was talking about in helping teens to make decisions, it's an exercise. It's learning to be confident with the decisions. And yes, you're going to make some decisions that don't turn out well. But you know what? It's a matter of practicing the decision-making process. It's a matter of practicing that commitment. Because everything gets all jumbled up when you can't commit. When today you're doing it, tomorrow you're not, now you're spending the rest of the week not deciding. It's a lot of wasted energy, and it takes up a lot of thought process too. Things are going to go much smoother for you if you make the decision, get that decision-making process behind you, and now you can focus on moving in that direction. And I think that's where people go awry a lot. They may take the time to get quiet. They may take the time, write out the pros and the cons. We've all, done that before, in the decision-making process. Here, this is for, this is against, and seeing it on paper kind of helps. But the thing is, though, it's when we start to doubt. And sometimes the decision-making process is easier than others. And what's really funny about that, though, is it doesn't even matter if it's a big thing or a little thing. Sometimes it's just those little things that can really tie you in knots. Like, should I do this? Should I not? But the most important part of the decision-making process is sticking to the decision once you get an answer. Because otherwise, you're constantly ping-ponging back and forth. And it's making room for doubt. And we have so many things going on in our lives. We're juggling so many balls sometimes, and there's so much going on. There's Sean. He just threw up some emojis. He's up next, so make sure you follow him. But we waste a lot of energy and a lot of effort, and we really slow down our progress by that indecisiveness, by making the decision and changing our mind and then spending another week going back and forth on it. And I know I've done that before. I certainly don't anymore. Now I just stick with it. Like I said before, if it's something I want to do and I check in and I get a no on it, I don't do it. It's like, oh man, but I really wanted to, And it's a matter of just learning to trust your decisions and knowing that not every decision is going to work out perfectly. Not every decision is going to give you the outcome that you hoped for, but it doesn't mean it was the wrong decision. I think we judge ourselves a lot. If things don't go exactly the way we imagined it in our mind every single step of the way, we think it was the wrong decision. And life's not always that black and white. Sometimes the right decision comes with a bumpy road. And it's just a matter of making the decision and just sticking with it. Just deciding, for better or worse, this is the decision I'm making. I'm just going to go for it, and hopefully it'll all work out. Let's see, I got 3 minutes left. Okay. And I think that also we have a hard time getting quiet. We live in this age of amazing technology. I mean, look what we're doing right here. This wasn't possible just 5 years ago. And all this technology and all of this instantness, with messaging and email, it drowns out our quiet time. 3 minutes, thank you. It drowns out that quiet time. And that disconnects us from our mental noise. Yes, absolutely. That disconnects us from that knowingness. It disconnects us from our intuition. And thus, in many ways, it disconnects us from confidence and certainty about our decisions because we're making them from up here instead of coming from that place of the divine within us. And as much as I love my iPhone, as much as I love technology, I have to remind myself to step away from it. That I start my morning with my coffee and with my notepad and with quiet time and with prayer before I even pick up my phone. Because I've noticed if I sit down on the couch with my coffee and I take my phone with me, I'm constantly checking crap the whole time that I should be in that quiet time. You know, this 21st century that we live in connects us in such amazing ways. And we've got people from all over the world over here, you know, tuning in and getting set up now. Okay, cool, go Sean. But it's way, way too easy to let that technology crowd out our connectedness, crowding out that time with the divine, crowding out that time within. And it's only with having that time going within that we can have that confidence in our decision-making process. Otherwise, we're just coming from our head. Otherwise, we might as well just go ahead and flip a coin, because that certainty is not going to be there. And the guidance that we get when we really allow the space for intuition can save us a lot in the way of mistakes, can save us a lot in the way of what's the word I'm looking for? Bad consequences. If we just learn to trust it and making that time to get quiet. And it gets harder all the time. You know, we've constantly got stuff beeping and buzzing. My husband's phone's got notifications going off all the time. Drives me nuts. But it's so easy for a beep to pull us away from that internal. And it's the internal that is the decision-making process. And it's that internal that is going to help us to feel confident about the decision. Because when we don't feel confident, we're going to be jumping back and forth. I'm going to do it, I'm not going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm not going to do it. And we waste so much time in that limbo. And in that limbo, you're actually not doing anything. See, that's why once you make the decision, just run with it, because at least then you're getting into some action with it. You're doing something, and maybe it's not going to turn out 100% the way you wanted it to, but you're in motion. You're doing something, you're taking action. And I kind of lost track. I see that my time is up, but I can't tell if Sean's up yet. So somebody, when he is live, he's live. Okay, cool. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. We're the Perry 10K, and we're going to pass this on now to Sean, and I'm looking forward to listening to him. Thanks for being here, everybody. Bye.